Hey everyone, today I'm bringing you a really easy tutorial on how to make this pretty little bow. It is super simple. I've been asked a few times how to make these, and this one I made using my bow maker. This comes from Pixie.craft supplies. Everything that I use in this video will be linked in the description below. So if you press on the title of the video, that should bring up the description. So you can check out all of these products, including the bow maker. So as you can see, this makes a 4-inch and a 3-inch bow, and for this bow I used the 4-inch side. I'm going to be making this one in a pretty blue colour, so I've got my tape measure here, mainly just to show you the size of the finished bow. I've got my Fiskars fabric scissors, I've got a lighter to heat seal the edges, a couple of fabric clips. You can use hair clips if you like, and that is just to hold the ribbon in place on the maker as we're wrapping it around. I've got a needle threaded with some strong thread, and I've popped a knot in the end, and I've got my hot glue gun ready. And I've also got a clip which I've already lined with some matching ribbon. I'm using a double-pronged 45mm clip. You can attach this bow to anything you like. You can attach it to a headband or an elastic, but this is just my personal preference. I'm going to set that aside. I've got a piece of ribbon here that I've already cut, and the ribbon I'm using is 1.5 inch wide or 4 centimeters wide, and this piece is to wrap the center, and I've cut this to 5 centimeters in length or 2 inches in length, and that is going to be to wrap the center like this one. And I did like this sort of ruched center. You can do a knotted center or just a plain center, but I quite like the look of this sort of gathered ruched center on these. So that is what we're going to do with this piece. We'll set that aside for now. So I've got my maker and my ribbon on the reel, a couple of clips and my needle and thread to begin with. Taking the ribbon on the reel, because we don't need to cut the ribbon until we're finished making the bow on the maker, so there's no need to measure out a particular length of ribbon. Taking the end of our ribbon, we're going to place it on the maker at an angle, so diagonally across, and I like to leave around sort of 5 centimeter overhang from the corner or edge of my maker. It depends on how long you want your tail. So some people make these with extra long tails so that they can put on the iron-on names and personalise them. But because I don't personalise mine, I'm happy with the tails to be this length. I think that they just look nice in proportion with the bow. So around a 5 centimeter overhang, longer if you prefer longer tails. So this is what we've got so far. Keeping the ribbon on the reel, we're going to fold this now around the back of the maker, so it comes out the opposite side, and it is more or less straight across the back of the maker. So this bit is at an angle and the back piece goes more or less sort of straight across the back. We will adjust it in a moment when we arrange the back of the bow, but do it like this for now. Taking a clip, pop it on there just to hold it in place. Next we're going to bring this piece, I'm just going to move the reel over so I can bring it round. So next, taking this piece which is coming out from the side, I'm going to bring this across the front, again more or less straight across, and then keeping it pinched together with my thumb and finger, I'm just going to remove this clip so I can bring this round toward the back, and then pop the clip on there again, and then we're going to bring it around the back and bring it down at an angle slightly this time. So bring this side round the back toward the front, this time at an angle. So we've got our 2 loops now for the left side. And then this piece is going to come down diagonal, and this is going to form the other tail. Now we just need to adjust all of these layers to space them out. So on the back side, as you can see, they're kind of more or less overlapping each other at the moment. So I'm just going to remove this clip, and we're going to slide these so that they're crossed at the back. I'm just carefully sliding them, keeping them pinched together so that they don't go out of place. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Slide them so that they're crossed over at the back, and then bringing it back round to the front. So this is going to come down diagonal. We want these overlapping in the middle of this gap, so we know that it's central, and where they touch here in the middle, you want them just touching each other, so not overlapping like that. They should only just be meeting up here in the middle. So I hope that makes sense. It's quite hard to explain what I mean. So yeah, so this overlap piece here is central, and where they touch, following up from the middle, they should just touch each other where the ribbons meet. Popping a clip again on both sides, checking the underside is still even, so that crossover is still nice and even. We're ready to sew in our pinch. So taking the needle and thread, I'm going to go in where these overlap in the middle all the way through to the knot for our first stitch, and then we're going to come up for our second stitch about 1 centimetre distance, so that is 2. Our third stitch again about 1 centimetre distance, going in through the top to the bottom, and I'm doing this by eye, but I can sort of see where the gap is, but all the stitches have got to be in the middle of where this gap is in the maker, so you know that you've got it central. Our fourth stitch is going to come up at the edge of this diagonal piece of ribbon, and this time we're not going to leave 1 centimetre, we're going to go straight in the middle along the edge of this next piece of ribbon. And then about 1 centimetre distance for our 6th stitch, and then our 7th stitch in through the top, again 1 centimetre distance, and our final stitch. I might have to just move these clips and slide it down a bit so I can get in the gap. I'm just going to slide this down the maker, and my last stitch is coming up through that top corner, the top edge. So these are what the stitches look like. We've got 8 across there. I'm going to slide it right off the maker now. And before I pull in the pinch, I'm going to fold this in half so I can trim off my ribbon from the reel at the same length as the other tail. So making sure I've folded it in half along where I've sewn it. And then from this inner corner, I'm going to cut up diagonally, cut both pieces at the same time. So I'll be cutting the corner off this and also cutting it off the reel. So up diagonally, cutting both pieces, then I can take the reel and set it aside. And then when you open it up, you've got these 2 diagonals. Using my lighter, I'm going to heat seal that raw edge, so going along the blue part of the flame. So the blue part is not so hot as the red part, so you don't risk burning your ribbon. And this will prevent any further fraying of the ribbon and get rid of any existing frays. But if you use good quality fabric scissors, the ribbon should cut without any frays. You will still need to heat seal it, but it prevents any frays and rough edges if you use good quality scissors. So now I'm going to pull on this thread, and that is going to gather that up to make the pinch in the middle. And then I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times to hold it in place, making sure it's central. And then on the underside, I'm going to go through catching a little bit of the ribbon once, and then on the second go in, before I pull it tight, I'm going to go through this loose loop a couple of times to form a knot to hold it all in place, and then I can trim off the excess thread. So you can see that lovely bow shape now taken place. I'm going to set these aside. Grabbing my clip now, which is already lined with some matching blue ribbon to my bow. I'm going to place some hot glue along the front side of the clip and then place it on the underside of the bow. And then taking the 5cm length piece that I cut earlier, this is to wrap the centre and make that lovely ruched effect. I'm going to take both corners of this piece of ribbon and push them in opposite directions to make like this Z shape, and then fold them together so you've got like a tri-fold. And then using my lighter again to heat seal the end, and at the same time we're going to pinch it to bond them together, so as the fibres melt it will act like a glue to hold that end together like that. And then turning it around, we're going to do the same on the other end, so grabbing both corners opposite directions to make that Z fold or tri-fold, and using the lighter again to bond that end together. And then when you pull both ends, you end up with like this nice little ruched shape. So we're ready to wrap this around our bow now. So placing glue on one end, I'm going to place it on the underside of the clip, central to the hair bow. And then I'm going to pull this around the middle, making sure it's still central, and then finishing off with some hot glue again on the other end. I'm going to open the clip and stick it on under the clip. And then you will need just to readjust your ribbon, but it shouldn't take too much adjusting. And there you go. There is your finished double looped tailed hair bow made using the Pixie Dot bow maker. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye for now.